Stupid dog! That was a bad Eustace impression. But it's a good intro, though. Salutations, everyone. I'm Niru Bikoshi, and spooky month is upon us. Ooh, even though I'm doing all my horror movie reviews at the podcast, which you can check out today if you want to. I reviewed with my lovely co-host, well, the lovely host of the show. They're the host. I'm the co-host. Godzilla on a skateboard, also known as Kaiju. They have we have both have reviewed horror movies this past few weeks this month, and we reviewed *Malignant*. We reviewed *Texas Chainsaw Massacre*. We reviewed also uh, the new Halloween movie, Halloween Kills, and soon we'll be reviewing another movie, which I won't say yet. You gotta watch the podcast if you want to know what the other one is. Anyway, I decided to finally watch straight out of nowhere the Courage the Cowardly Dog and Scooby Doo crossover film. This is, of course, sadly, Thea White's final performance as Muriel. She sadly passed away this year, so this marks as her final performance. And honestly, a nice little send off to her character and Courage in general, because this, was a um, nice little love letter to the Courage series. And it was a nice little send off to show that hey, remember the Courage series, you loved it, and we're gonna go and put a lot of references and a bunch of like Easter eggs in there as well to accommodate the fans, which is kind of weird because they go into this museum in this mansion in the episode, and you see like the mask of the cat girl is in a display case, which is weird because it looks smaller than it was in the cartoon, where it was much more bigger. And we get to see the slab, the tablet that Ramsey was trying to get from Eustace because he wouldn't let it go, which is weird because like it shouldn't have gone back to its rightful place. Why is it back there? Shouldn't Ramsey be flowing more cicadas? Well, maybe that explains why the cicadas come out of nowhere because the freaking tablet's there, the slab. Return the slab, or suffer my curse. This is a nice movie. It's not as crazy or weird or dark as the original cartoon, though maybe it's because they can't get away with it nowadays because scaring the children, heavens to Betsy, we can't do that. Come on, if I had to endure that shit when I was a kid, a lot of kids can endure it as well. I mean, even though we got terrified, it is a strange movie having all these references and like Easter eggs around in this mansion. Especially like you try to wonder why are there like portraits of previous encounters of villains or weird and strange characters that Courage has encountered in the past. Why is all their like pictures and portraits like hanging on the walls of this mansion that they're in? It's so weird. Like I don't understand it as well, but it's funny to say the least how they actually like to put it there just for reference. Like, hi, remember this? Remember that? You love that. It's very funny, especially this cartoon. This movie is actually pretty hilarious. It actually got a lot of laughs out of me, surprisingly. It has the same humor as a lot of things I see in a Scooby Doo cartoon, which I like. I do find that hilarious. It does have like that humor and more of a style of a Scooby Doo cartoon, but it is still has the homage and it pays respects to the Courage series a lot too. And rightfully so, hilariously. I do love that the main plot point is that that Scooby Doo hears the music from from the show, that it tracks him, that goes do 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 do, and they have to start doing a little dance and a jig every time they hear it, which is so hilarious that the dogs could hear that music in the background, even the like, it's so funny. I love that. I loved how they made that music like an integral part to the movie. Like, it's the main source, that they hear it, but they don't know where it's coming from. And they find out it's from this meteor that is controlling people, or it's giving these strange signals to pets or dogs that made them react differently. Uh, well, for humans, it acts more differently to them because they get hypnotized and such. And it is kind of strange and weird of a plot point. It acts more like a Scooby Doo cartoon because it's the mystery, but all the encounters, like the creatures they come across, it is very Courage the Cowardly Dog like. But first and foremost, this movie is a Scooby Doo movie, first and foremost, is just set in the middle of nowhere, which I do love that not the show, I'm sorry, I keep saying that show, this movie goes into the deep lore of nowhere, which is hilarious. Because, like, the mayor of nowhere is like saying, like, oh yeah, we're known for weird shit happening in these parts. It's on our flag. Which is so, I do love that. I love how they just go and say, like, yeah, we're used to this weird shit that happens in nowhere constantly. Like, it's no surprise to us. uh, Even like, what else? Like, oh yeah, the funny thing about nowhere is like when Velma's like saying, like, I never heard of nowhere before, and then the mayor's like, yeah, we're off the map, and it shows this separate map of nowhere, which makes it hilarious. Like, nowhere is like a Bermuda Triangle kind of place. Like, no one uh knows where this fucking place is, but it's it's like you just encounter it. Like, you don't find it, it technically finds you, hilariously. And I do love that. I do love how they poke fun at nowhere is this separate location. It's not in the same kind of uh place as where the Scooby-Doo gang are in. And it's so hilarious seeing them like questioning all these creatures, like the huge bugs, even questioning uh if Cats was a guy in a mask or he's actually an anthropomorphic cat, which was funny. Like, that duck is talking. How is that duck talking? And it's like, it's a puppet, and then Cats is like looking at them like, dude, I'm real. I'm not a guy in a mask. Which is so funny. I do love that. It's hilarious. All the callbacks, all the references that were in the show, which is funny. And of course, the main thing that you always have to do at the end of a Courage episode, Eustace has to get screwed over in some way. And luckily they did. I mean, it's not as grim or as dark as how Eustace gets screwed over usually in the show. They just I mean, except for that one episode with the meat, and he was just hungry. So, except for that one probably. But but he gets screwed over because he lost a bunch of money that randomly came to him because of the meteor that was hypnotizing people. And he's like mad about it, and he's like sad that his cash is gone, his gold is gone. I do love like a few of the actors came back. I don't know if all the actors came back because Eustace kind of sound like himself, but doesn't at the same time. Thea White, she still plays the role as Muriel quite well. She does a great job. Gave 100% in it, even though sadly this was the last thing she did before she passed away, which I'm very sad because I was like thinking, oh my god, are we gonna get more Courage stuff in the future? And then the more I say that, it's like, I don't know. I think Courage the Cowardly Dog can't work today because I don't think they can get away with the weird and dark or scary shit that they used to do in the show. That they can easily get away with it. They can't, sadly. So I don't think they could do the show today like they did back then. But it was nice to see Courage and everyone back in one last hurrah movie before, we won't get to see any more of it again. I love Courage. I grew up with it as a kid. It was a great show. It scared the shit out of me sometimes, but sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it's nice, like a nice show to watch. And it always ended happy, except for the puppet one, which made you question, oh god, you think that Courage is going crazy is and he still sees them as real people, but he's just controlling them as puppets, which is weird. I don't know. It was a dark episode that made me question things because that was originally going to be the final episode. But yeah, I did had a good time with this movie. I don't have much to say. I love the humor. I love the characters. They did give a lot of good performances. It is a directed DVD movie, but I think they put a lot of care and love to it with these characters and bringing them back for one last movie before, we don't get to see them ever be made into new stuff again. I would love a Courage the Cowardly Dog comic. There's a lot you can get away with if they did a comic. Like, they'll have no restrictions. They would go balls off the wall and just do something crazy, which I would love to see. I mean, it works for the Invader Zim comic, and the Invader Zim comics are really freaking crazy but good and continues the show, which was great. Makes you wonder if the comics are canon with the Enter the Florpus movie. Probably not. Who knows? Yes. But yeah, I give this movie a 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was easy to please with this because it brought me back as a kid. So yeah, enjoyed it. You should go check it out if you haven't seen it at all. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this, cool. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to. I'm not forcing you. And check out our podcast if you like to as well. Anyway, I'll see you Wolfpack in the next one. Ciao, darlings. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Eustace has a rap song in this movie. He has a rap song and he shows a gold-plated diamond engraved mask of his like scary spooky mask that he terrorizes Courage with. It was so weird and out of nowhere. I know, that was a bad joke. Anyway, ciao.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!